The Kingdom of Happiness. Introduction. What is happiness? Happiness can mean many different things to different people, but in Bhutan, think of happiness as being content. The government of Bhutan wants its citizens to be happy. It thinks happiness is more important than money. That's why the government of Bhutan asks people questions every few years to see how happy they are. This information is used to improve life for everyone in the Kingdom of Happiness. Growth and Happiness. Bhutan's first happiness interviews took place in 2007. However, the idea of tracking happiness became about long before that. In 1972, a new king was crowned in Bhutan. King Wangchuck was just 16 years old. A young king left his country. He wanted to grow and be successful. King Wangchuck knew that other countries measure success by money alone. They add up the cost of goods and sell. Make and sell. The king did not believe that was right for the Bhutan. Most of the citizens are Buddhists. They believed that happiness is important step to leading for a good life. Money is only a small part of that. King Wangchuck wanted his country to be happy, a happy place. On- Only that would succeed. He came up with a plan for Bhutan called Gross National Happiness (GNH) and have four key ideas about happiness. That's what helped Bhutan grow. Four pillars of happiness. Bhutan's government believes that happiness is based on four ideas or pillars. These are government rules, social work matters, culture and traditions, the nature, and the environment. The king and his government considered all four pillars when creating new laws. At first, the four pillars were only guides for people happiness. There were no real survey. Bhutan was a quiet country protected from the modern world. Its people led simple lives and were mostly content. People dressed in Bhutanese clothing. They took time each day and sit quietly with their thoughts. They enjoyed nature. Families spent time together. Then things slowly began to change. In 1999, Bhutan let television and the internet into the country for the first time. Bhutan citizens began to learn more about the world outside their borders. The world also began to learn more about Bhutan. People were drawn to its natural beauty and peaceful style. Many came to visit. The quiet kingdom now had one foot in the past and one in the modern world. Bhutanese children watched television and played video games. People began using cell phones Bhutans later became worried. They were afraid that traditions would be lost, and along with them the happiness of Bhutan's people. Measuring happiness. The government decided that it needed a way to keep track of happiness. It needed something more exact than just uh, the four pillars. Planner created 9 areas or domains that were based in the four pillars. The categories and all the domains and categories made up the gross national happiness index. The G&H index gives a more complete picture of happiness. Next, the government wrote survey question about G&H. The survey asked people uh, people's lives. Each answer had a number. The number added up to get a big happiness score per person. In 2007, the government tested the survey. In 2010, the survey ready to given across the Bhutan. Survey teams traveled mountain villages, valley farms and cities. More than 7,000 people out of over 700,000 gave information about their lives. This information was analyzed using the G&H index. The happiest people had the highest score. The survey found that women, farmers, uneducated people, and senior citizens were the least happy. The government began to improve health care daily life. Another survey was done in 2015. Bhutan learned that citizens' happiness grew by 1.8%. There were some areas, though, where it dropped. People did less volunteer work. Not as many people thought traditions were important. Bhutan will work with the communities to improve in those areas. They may hold festivals that include national traditional. The goal is to someday have a popular that is 100% happy. A world of happy people. Other countries around the world heard about Bhutan's G&H index. Some have made their own index to track their citizens' happiness. In 2007, Thailand created a national happiness index like Bhutan's. South Korea and Great Britain also developed tools based on Bhutan's G&H. In 2009, a big company took a happiness survey of people in the United States. In 2011, the United Nations, an organization of countries around the world, did a study of world happiness. The United Nations put out the first World Happiness Report in 2012. The report listed countries based on their happiness score. The same year, the United Nations named March 20th the International Day of Happiness. Why March 20th? On that day and night are equally long. This day stands for the Bhutanese king's belief that balance is the key to national happiness.